Say goodbye to JCPenney at the Connecticut Post Mall in Milford. It closed today for good.
2 Target stores will shut down for good, leaving a discount store desert.
It could be the end of an era. Sears stores across the country could be on the verge of closing.
2 more retailers announced today that they will be shuttering stores.
A struggling Radio Shack will permanently close the doors in 1,100 U.S. stores.
Huge announcement from Macy's closing 100 stores next year due to slumping sales.
Closed, bankrupt, and abandoned. It seems as though every day there is a new store or mall that is deemed as closed for good. Why is this? What is the overlaying cause of all this commercial chaos? Who or what can be to blame? According to many, it is a $1 trillion company that started off as a simple online book sale website known as Amazon. You may be thinking, how did a book website become a $1 trillion company that's being connected with the decline of retail shopping? Well, to understand that, we need to first understand how and why Amazon has become so successful. It's really simple, or at least it is the CEO and president of Amazon, Jeff Bezos. You see, Bezos was able to accomplish what most retailers can't and don't. That is, Amazon is able to sell good quality products for low and affordable prices. Most other retailers will either have one or the other. This also connects to how Amazon sets itself up for the long term, meaning most companies will adjust the prices of their products accordingly. However, Amazon keeps a firm, steady, and fair price in order to keep a steady pool of returning consumers instead of a one-and-done purchase.
You don't become a billionaire unless you have this insatiable desire to accrue wealth and power. But I think he just looks at it in a way that's really different to almost anyone else I follow.
Whatever it is that you want to do, there's going to be risk in your life, and risk is a necessary component of progress.
As seen here, Amazon's success has skyrocketed over the past 20 years. When Bezos first started his company, he gave himself a 30% chance of success. However, since 2004, Amazon's revenue has reached enormous heights and continues to do so. This just goes to show how Bezos had a plan when he decided to break away from only books, and it has definitely paid off for him and his company's reputation. So, what does this mean for retail? Well, it's not anything good. Since the uprise of online e-commerce shopping, retail shopping has started to diminish at an alarming rate. For example, in 2017, stores such as JCPenney, Radio Shack, Macy's, and even Sears announced more than 100 store closures. Even stores such as American Eagle and Ralph Lauren are experiencing all-time lows financially. This statistic goes to show that these aren't just your mom-and-pop stores that are closing, but also big retail chains that are feeling the pressure of e-commerce and in a big way. Between 2010 and 2014, e-commerce grew an average of $30 billion annually, and since 2014, it has grown to $40 billion, and it is on a continual climb every day. Also, by 2025, about 30,000 to 80,000 retail stores could be forced to close, an alarming statistic that goes to show how great of an impact Amazon, who leads the e-commerce field, is having on retail shopping. But why is all this happening? It's simple. People simply find it more convenient to go online, find what they're looking for, and purchase it straight from the comforts of their own home in a matter of minutes than to actually drive to a store or mall, at times struggle to find a parking spot, wait on lines, etc. Amazon makes it easier too. As opposed to websites that are generalized to specific fields of goods, Amazon has most to all things someone could be looking for. They also offer the possibility of 2-day shipping if someone is willing to create a membership with them, of which does not cost a consumer more than $12 a month. Finally, with the low price and good quality products mentioned before, these 3 factors form to create a utopia for the e-commerce consumer. Through the eyes of the consumer, it's simple. Good products, low prices, fast delivery. There's not much more one could ask for when purchasing a product. It's not just the companies that are feeling the blow, but the employees as well. Obviously, if stores and shopping malls continue to close and shut down, people in turn lose his or her job. For example, according to the New York Times, last year between October and April, nearly 89,000 people lost their jobs in the retail industry. To put that in perspective, that number of people is greater than the number of people employed in the coal industry. And it's not just retail and e-commerce Amazon has delved into, however. In April of last year, Bloomberg Technology News talked about Amazon and its growth after the recent openings and ownership took place of Whole Foods. Here's what they had to say.
Clearly, Amazon has been doing this for a couple of decades now. It's that it's getting its tentacles into more buckets. So, for example, this year you saw that they really ramped up their production of private label clothing and of private label consumer packaged goods. So they're threatening new types of competitors.
Well, Amazon is fundamentally, I think, not a retailing company. I think Amazon is fundamentally a company which accumulates vast quantities of data about consumer behavior and studies how best to mobilize that information.
Since there are so many stories and headlines out in the world like the ones I mentioned, some people believe it is only a matter of time before retail shopping and shopping malls are a thing of the past. They aren't wrong to feel that way though. According to Business Insider, 20% to 25% of malls nationwide could be expected to close within the next 5 years. Definitely a concerning statistic to those of us who are avid retail shoppers. With all that being said, this is not saying that within the next few years all stores and malls will be closed. Obviously, that is just unrealistic. This phenomena is one that, while moving rapidly, is on a gradual incline. Additionally, there will always be some stores. Unless something changes in the near future, people will still have the need to actually physically get up and go to certain stores to access their necessities. With all that taken into consideration, no matter what the future brings, one thing is evident. Amazon's heavy success has had a detrimental impact on the success of many forms of retail and retail chains. Their success will continue, and they will keep on rising and moving on to hopeful success in multiple other fields. So what's next for the e-commerce superpower that is Amazon? Well, the sky's the limit, literally. Bezos has been a very outspoken proponent for space travel and experimentation. In fact, Bezos has been an avid fan of space since he was 5 years old.
I'd love for there to be 1 trillion humans in the solar system. We can't do that on Earth, but we can do it in the solar system. Now, I actually think it's the most important work I'm doing. 2 kids in their dorm room created Facebook, which has a $500 billion market cap. It's a giant company. 2 kids in their dorm room today can't do anything big in space.
According to Bezos, space travel is necessary to cultivate and support a more advanced and larger human civilization. When mentioning Blue Origin, a spaceflight company founded by himself, he said, "We may put humans in it at the end of this year or at the beginning of next year. We are very close." Also, he plans on having millions of people and then billions of people and then finally 1 trillion people in space. Also, back in the present, Amazon has been working on and testing their Amazon Scout. It's an electronic system that is similar to a robot designed to deliver packages. The system would follow a preset route to get to the place of delivery. This would clearly be a groundbreaking invention in the delivery business, and it would open the doors to newer and faster forms of product delivery. This system is still in the testing phase and is not in full swing. However, we can assume that they plan for it to be soon enough. So what's the downside of Amazon's success combined with its present and future fields of exploration and innovation? Well, there is none if you ask Amazon, but the retail industry might disagree. Retail is already experiencing negative effects from Amazon's looming cloud of e-commerce success. Additionally, grocery markets could soon be taking hits after Amazon's recent purchase of Whole Foods. Not to mention Amazon's interest and goal of being the best in the space industry. With Amazon putting all its eggs in multiple baskets and being as broad and open as possible, they are on track to be greatly successful in many endeavors. So what do we, as consumers and people living in an ever-changing world, get from this? It's simple. Like I just said, the world is ever-changing, and Amazon, in Jeff Bezos, recognized this and took advantage of it. Yes, Bezos could have just stayed as a humble book sale company and settled. Amazon probably would have made a fair share and been a relatively successful company that way. However, they would have never been nearly as successful as they are now or reached heights even close to what Amazon is doing now, and will continue to do so as time goes on. Jeff Bezos saw the opportunities presented to him and seized them. He is still doing that today. He looks at the world with an open mind and sees what the world can be, not what it already is. There is no doubt that Amazon's success and the growth of e-commerce has been a leading cause of the decline in retail shopping. But with all that being said, is it really Jeff Bezos' drive to be better that's causing such an issue? Or is it retail stores' lack thereof that's ruining retail?